first of all, I can't believe you prepared because I just sat down. I'm prepared.
You don't have to prepare.
Unprepared. No, it was a long time ago, and it seems like a long time ago. And the world is different now. Things are just different. It's not the same free spirit world that we were living in 10 years ago. There's too much chaos in the universe right now. So yeah, it's different.
There is. I mean, did you know what you were getting into? Like, did you watch reality TV before? Like, were you familiar? You know, like we had all these other franchises. Did you know?
Well, there lies the problem. I didn't know, and I had never watched a show. And so when the producers, I mean, 20 people in Miami said told the producers to talk to me, but I didn't, it just was in one ear and out the other. Like, okay, fine. I've got something. I was just like doing my regular life. And then when they did get a hold of me, I just basically said, I don't know anything about it. I'm not good at that stuff, but I know everybody. I'll get you some girls. So they came over and set up, in my ballroom with their cameras. And I just started trotting girls through, and they started interviewing girls. And then the girls would just sit there like, yes, no, okay. And I was like, this isn't going to happen. So I started interviewing the girls like, okay, come on, tell them about that time you did this. And so then at the end of that, they're like, you have to be in this show. So I was like, well, I'll think about it. And then we just started filming a few things, but I had never seen reality TV. I didn't really know what it was. And I didn't even, at that point, I don't think they knew it was a housewife show. So then when they wanted me to do it, I had to get serious about it, but I'd already filmed a little bit. And I decided, my husband's law partner said, you better look at those housewife show. Cause I tried to get his wife on there. He's like, that's a hard no. So I TiVo'd one, and it happened to be the one I TiVo'd was when Teresa had flipped that table, and it freaked me out. I just went ice cold on it. And then they all piled on like I was letting everybody down, and this girl wasn't going to be able to do it because she didn't have a connection to anybody but me. And then the drag queen was like, there, he's out because he's with you. And everyone was piling on me, and the producers are like, they're only going to greenlit it if we get this group together, and you can't. And they just started piling on, and I felt guilty. So I said, okay, I'll just damn do it. In the middle of the night, I signed my contract. I said I'd do it. And then after that, it was just, I learned what it was. I learned as I went, but I didn't know what I was getting into. But having said that, I made the best of it, because once I'm either all in or I'm not, you know what I mean? So I was all in on helping them get girls, and I was all in on helping the city make it. And I was all in the show, and I was all in on all of it. But once I decided to do it, I went all in.
I love how you're like becoming the producer during casting, and you're standing there and asking the girls. I mean, it just doesn't shock me, right? You should have said, wait, just make me the producer.
The problem is at that time, I didn't even know what a producer or producer's credit was. I should have.
That's just where I see this. Well, I mean, to your point, like it was an ensemble cast, but really the audience and you were the center of the show. I mean, that's just what came across.
Just my energy. And I kind of knew a lot of the people, and I wasn't afraid of it. I never understood them being nervous about it and afraid of it and timid and not. I was just out there doing what I always do. And if you film it, fine. If you don't, fine. If you like it, fine. You're fine. If you don't, fine. I didn't have any investment in or any agenda going in. I think some of these girls knew all about what this world was, and they had an agenda going in, like I can see now, knowing everything I know, you would have an agenda going in. You would either want to promote a product, or there would be something in it for you. And at the time, for me, it was just one more project to do. I'll do that too. Why not? I'm doing the charity. I'm doing the skincare. I'm doing this. I'll do one more.
You're like that. You might as well film me, right?
I might as well film. I'm doing it anyway. If you want to film me, bring the cameras. That's kind of how it went down.
Where did the mayor of Miami come? Did that come? Were you always called this?
Well, it's funny because initially Chrissy Rice said she started calling me that, but Elsa said she started calling me that. So I don't really know, but I also know that people have always tried to get me to run for mayor, but I've never done it because one, I couldn't be elected, and two, I wouldn't be able to do the job. I'd be delegating everything. I need somebody in finance, need somebody in PR, need someone to go down to the commission. I would have to delegate everything. I'd have to find everybody to do it because I don't know how to run a city. I know how to run a business, but I don't know how to run a city. So people always try to get me to run for mayor, but I've always just thought of it as like a running joke,
No political office for you anytime soon.
I couldn't get elected. Let's put it that way. I would not be able to get elected. I'm too polarizing.
Yeah. You and me both.
Yeah.
Well, when you look back at this time, like what sticks out? Like, does anything stick out as like the highs, like one or two highs when you just think of it?
Well, the first season, it stood out to me that we didn't really understand the opportunity and we didn't maximize on it. And people weren't all in, they were dabbling. And then the producer got pregnant and midway through was bedridden. So it wasn't as intense as it could have been if everyone would have been playing full out and the producer could have been full-time on the job. The second season, what stood out is how far people will go for attention. I was honestly, I'm still flabbergasted. I mean, to me, it's like, you want to have the cheapest house on the block, and on a show, you want to have people that are, more gorgeous and have more money and that are more affluent and that have better class and style than you. That's how I live the world. Like, you want to help bring people up, but you also want to help other people bring you up. So the fighting and the tearing people down and being the piñata, and all of that, it was just blindsiding because I'd never lived my life that way. And I never have been around people that behave that way, to be honest with you.
And I've heard that about Miami, I think more than almost any other franchise. Like, the minute they said roll,
yeah,
people wanted, that's really how it was. Like, people were fighting for camera time.
Well, I think it was like, there's a lot of things. One, they saw that the people that got the most attention on the other shows misbehaved the most and were rewarded the most. So you got that. It's also a bit of their nature to squabble, the culture here. Everyone kind of had to scrap to get where they are in Miami. And it's a very hierarchical, area where people want to have the prettiest car and the most money and the most friends and the most celebrity. It's very much like that. It's very superficial in a way. So there was a climbing element to it as well. And then also there's the element that these people are very thin-skinned. I mean, they can dish it out, but you say one little thing and they're going to punish you for the rest of your life about it. And I'm just not used to that behavior because I grew up in a very small town in Texas, and you leave your key under the doormat and, whatever you need, I'll give it to you. I was never exposed to that before. And in the business world, you're not exposed to that because if you behave that way, you're not going to have any business and no one's going to want to do business with you. So I was just shocked at how far people would go for the attention. And I don't know whatever else reason it would be.